There is a classified linguistic framework that allows intelligence operatives to rewrite a target's reality simply by altering the syntax of their daily conversations. By the time this audio ends, you will realize the private, intimate thoughts you had this morning were planted in your cortex 6 months ago by a protocol you didn't even know existed. The question is not if your mind has been compromised. The question is who currently holds the administrative rights to your internal monologue. In the late 20th century, an obscure but brilliant defense strategist named Fred Ickley identified a psychological vulnerability so severe it deeply unsettled the United States National Security Council. He termed this weaponized anomaly semantic infiltration. It is not persuasion. Persuasion implies a fair fight between two opposing ideas. Semantic infiltration is the process of secretly inserting an adversary's vocabulary into a target's mouth until the target unknowingly adopts the adversary's entire worldview. It is a cognitive virus transmitted through grammar. Ickley observed that in high-stakes negotiations, hostile handlers rarely argued over raw facts. They argued over the definitions of the words used to describe those facts. They understood a terrifying neurological flaw in the human machine. The brain processes syntax a fraction of a second before it processes logic. If an operative can force a target to use the operative's words to describe their own reality, the target's reality physically bends to match those words. During the height of the Cold War, psychological warfare units deployed this with devastating precision. When Western diplomats began using the Soviet term liberation movement instead of armed insurgency, the geopolitical battle was instantly lost. The moment the syntax shifted, the moral framework shifted with it. The handlers simply sat back in the shadows and watched the puppet dance. They had hacked the linguistic operating system of their enemies. The targets were completely unaware they were conceding defeat with every syllable they spoke. But the intelligence agencies did not bury this weapon when the old empires collapsed. They digitized it. They fed it into the machine. And right now, an invisible architect is deploying this exact protocol against you. Modern linguistic engineering operates on a scale of mass psychological dominion that would make the intelligence officers of the past weep with envy. Consider the behavioral laboratories funded by elite corporate conglomerates and political data firms. They employ shadow teams of linguistic neuro-architects. These operatives run millions of rapid-fire tests on digital interfaces every single hour. Their objective is to find the exact sequence of syllables that effortlessly bypasses your prefrontal cortex. They do not ask for your compliance. They engineer an invisible digital environment where compliance is the only logical conclusion your compromised brain can reach. But what researchers discovered in the raw data logs of a massive, unconsenting psychological experiment horrified even the architects who built it. In a deeply buried psychological contagion study conducted on hundreds of thousands of digital users, data scientists quietly altered the emotional polarity of the words in the users' daily feeds. They wanted to see if they could induce profound psychological distress without ever speaking a single word to the targets directly. They simply filtered the syntax the targets consumed. The targets did not just become distressed. The infection spread far deeper than the researchers hypothesized. The targets began mirroring the exact linguistic patterns they were covertly exposed to. They started typing different words. They began expressing entirely different philosophies. They were living a fabricated emotional state injected into them by an algorithm. Their digital handlers had successfully bypassed their cognitive firewalls, and the targets believed these dark, manufactured thoughts were their own organic creations. They owned their despair, completely unaware they had been infected with a syntactic virus. They had been reprogrammed through their screens. Now, pay very close attention. What algorithms do to the masses is nothing compared to how this weapon functions in isolation. This algorithmic subjugation is terrifying, but it is mere child's play compared to what happens when semantic infiltration is deployed by a single, highly trained operative in a one-on-one power dynamic. When a corporate infiltrator or a covert predator targets an individual, they do not scream, they do not issue overt threats. That creates friction, that creates resistance. Instead, they isolate their target through microscopic daily shifts in vocabulary. It begins with redefining the most foundational concepts of human interaction. The word loyalty is slowly, methodically redefined as absolute, unquestioning compliance. The concept of privacy is twisted and weaponized into secrecy and betrayal. The operative quietly replaces the target's internal dictionary, word by word, definition by definition. They will manufacture high-stress scenarios where the target is forced to use the handler's new vocabulary just to defend themselves. And the moment the target uses the operative's word, the trap snaps shut. The target can no longer articulate their own subjugation because they no longer possess the linguistic tools to describe it. They are stripped of their defensive syntax. They are trapped in a soundproof prison built entirely out of language. Look at the architecture of the human brain. The language centers, Broca's area and Wernicke's area, are intimately wired to the amygdala, the fear and emotion processor. When a handler controls the words you use, they have a direct, unblockable hard line into your nervous system. Operatives rely heavily on a biological glitch known as semantic satiation. When a word is repeated enough times by the handler, the target's neural pathways physically fatigue. The word loses all of its original meaning. It becomes a hollow sound. The operative then pours their own fabricated meaning into that empty phonetic shell. There was a documented case in high-level corporate espionage where an external operative systematically dismantled a rival CEO's loyal inner circle. The operative never spread a single rumor. They never engaged in open conflict. They merely introduced a new clinical phrase into the boardroom ecosystem: liability vector. They subtly attached this phrase to the CEO's key allies in casual passing. They planted the syntax. Within 4 months, the entire board of directors had unknowingly adopted the phrase. They stopped seeing the allies as human beings with decades of loyal service. They saw them as mathematical risks. The allies were purged. The CEO was isolated and subsequently removed. The operative took total control of the company. All of this was achieved through a single, 2-word syntactic insertion. The board members believed they were making objective financial decisions. They were actually executing a script written by a phantom. Before we examine the ultimate endgame of this linguistic warfare, consider a much darker reality. Intelligence agencies have entire divisions dedicated to studying the decay rate of a target's vocabulary under stress. They know that when you are exhausted, when your cortisol levels spike, your brain defaults to the most readily available syntax. Who provided that syntax? The media you consume, the algorithms you scroll, the screens that demand your constant, unwavering attention. They are deliberately flooding your linguistic reservoir with engineered terminology designed to keep you polarized, predictable, and profoundly weak. You are being trained to speak a language of submission. If you cannot describe your chains, you cannot break them. This is the ultimate horrifying objective of semantic infiltration. It is the quiet assassination of your sovereign thought. Look at the phrases you repeat on a daily basis. Look at the labels you eagerly attach to your identity, your struggles, your perceived enemies. Where did those exact words actually come from? Trace them back to their origin. You will find that nearly everything you say is an echoed script written by an unseen author in a room you will never enter. You have been running a linguistic software program designed by architects who view you as nothing more than a biological data point. You are a biological hard drive running infected code. The media, the algorithms, the corporate structures, they have fractured your perception of reality by controlling the syntax of your thoughts. They have redefined what it means to be successful, what it means to be free, what it means to be powerful. And they have handed you a corrupted dictionary that ensures you will never achieve any of those things. The moment you speak their words, you submit to their dominion. You grant them access to your most intimate psychological spaces. The only way to dismantle this infiltration is to purge their syntax from your cortex completely. You must strip away the infected vocabulary that has been forced upon you. You must rebuild your mental architecture from the absolute ground up, brick by brick, word by word. If you fail to do this, you will remain a highly functioning puppet until the day you die, moving flawlessly to a script you never realized you were reading. The definitive blueprint to rewrite your own psychological source code, to purge these linguistic viruses, and to immunize your brain against all forms of covert influence is contained within the sovereign mind. This is not a guide for self-improvement. It is a tactical weapon for mental survival in a world meticulously designed to enslave you. The link is below. Reclaim your code or remain a slave to theirs.